Frantic Nerdcast, hosted by AJ and Brock, talking about all the nerdy things that you want to hear about. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it indeed. Welcome back for another episode. For those watching at home, you'll see that we've all returned for a week later in the same outfit, sitting in the same positions.
I'm an inch taller.
And I'm an inch shorter.
And you just couldn't get rid of me fast enough, so I'm still here.
Essentially, yeah.
Well, there you go. He's been sleeping here for a week waiting for the
That's
next
right.
one.
In the same clothes. He hasn't changed. He hasn't showered. Like, if this video had smell-o-vision, you'd be able to smell
I've
it.
aged like a fine wine, something like myself.
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for coming through for another episode. This is episode 37. We are absolutely powering through.
We are. We're going to have a 50th birthday soon.
Yeah. Yep.
That's terrifying.
Yep. Terrifying indeed.
Highlights of your best moments?
No, that means we've got to go through and listen to 50 episodes. Fuck that.
It was funny. I was going to do that. I can't remember what for, but we were having a look at doing like that for a little bit. I did it for 10 minutes. I'm like,
oh, there was an award. There was an award thing we were going to enter, and we had to do like a 5-minute compilation.
Yeah,
and we're like, nah.
10 minutes of looking through. I'd send AJ messages. Pass.
I mean, in all honesty, like, props to the people that listen to our podcast or watch it. You know, thank you very much. But fuck, I don't want to listen to my own voice. I have to listen to myself talk all the time. That's enough.
Exactly.
Like, comment, and subscribe to that, guys.
We love you. Keep listening. We promise it's worth it.
Oh, 100% it's worth it. I mean, listen to us ramble on about everything that we need to ramble on about.
It's good. It's good. We're good podcasters.
Gets my money.
100%.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Well, let's get on to some stuff first. So first off, I'd start another bit of sad news, as we did in the last word with James Earl Jones dying, but this one's not as sad. But that is one of the greats of Hollywood has retiring. Kathy Bates has declared that she is retiring after her next role in Matlock.
Oh.
The Matlock remake.
That's a shame.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Kathy Bates has been around for a long time. She's been in a lot of stuff. Very famously recently, that's the last episode, she was in American Horror Story. She was pretty much every season up from like season 3 on of American Horror Story, I think she was in. I think the Circus one was the first season she was in, which I believe was season 3. She's also been in some rom-com. One of my rom-coms that was on my list, that Zac Efron Nicole Kidman one. She was in that. She's been in a lot. She was famously in Stephen King's what's the one with the where they kidnap the dude? She kidnaps him and ties him to the bed and breaks his legs and stuff because she loves his writing.
Oh, yeah.
She was in that one.
I mean, all of that aside, I mean, she is best known as But Mama Said.
What?
But Mama said, but Mama said, but Mama said that crocodiles don't smile because they ain't got no toothbrush. I can see Zach's brain churning over there. I don't think he's worked it out yet.
When you started, I thought you were going down the line of it's the mother from Forrest Gump, but no, it's the mother from Waterboy. I'm with you now.
H2O better.
Yeah. It's Amdula Oblongata.
I do believe now there that you are suppling on the snake's knee.
You can do it. Cut his fucking dick off.
Oh dear God, she has done so much, and that's a shame. So I mean, she's been around the traps for a while. She's done amazing things. So kudos to her.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I mean, whether it's due to illness or whatever, who knows?
But I hope it's not illness. Hopefully, she's just had enough. I mean, she's done so fucking much.
Yeah, she's been around for a long time. So
I mean, let's have a look. How old is she? She's 76.
There you go, yeah. So it's time to retire. Let it go.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the main thing. Let's get on to some subjects. Like, what do we want to talk about? Let's get into... I've got a quick one just to jump to before we jump to anything else, and let's go to... gaming. Now, I believe you also have one in this one, Brock, as well, that you wanted to talk about. Mine's a very quick one. So we've talked about this card game before, Universes, which used to be UFS, which is a fantastic TCG, like fighting, like you take control of the player, the other player takes control, punch each other. It's also been rebranded as My Hero Academia card game. Same game, just they rebranded it.
Yeah,
I got
suckered into another little Challenger series and I bought them.
Yep, they're fantastic.
Yep, they're brilliant.
They're a great game. But
so at some point in time, we need to play Godzilla versus Ghidorah because
Yeah.
I
Oh, did
got
you buy
sucked-
both the decks, did you?
I got them.
Okay. Yeah. So they every now and then they release like limited sets these days because they used to be lots of fighting games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, all that kind of stuff, Dark Stalkers. Then they did Mega Man set. They've done some other ones, but then they did My Hero Academia rebrand.
Yep.
I
I think
they're
they've
on
got
to
about five
or six sets of
series
that.
out now.
Yep. Cards are fully compatible across all of them,
Good
but
fun.
they're releasing smaller packs that you can buy, like small. I think they've essentially starter decks.
Okay.
I'm not sure how these ones are actually getting released, but they've announced their 2025 sets. So on January 10th, they're releasing a solo leveling set. So this one you mentioned
nice.
in the last
Yeah.
episode about an anime. Then on March 7th, they're releasing Heroes of Exandria.
Okay.
Then May 16th, Attack on Titan Apocalypse. So I think this is the second Attack on
Mm-hmm. I was
Titan
going to
set
say
they've released.
they've definitely done Attack on Titan previously, and I know that they're actually either just about to release some challenger decks or just release some challenger decks for it, just around a couple characters. But looks like they're releasing another series as well.
Then you've got, in July, they're releasing another Street Fighter set.
Nice.
August, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Fuck, they're hammering out some stuff then.
and then-
are these all like actually releasing series? or
No,
are
I think they're just challenger
decks.
I
Okay,
think
cool.
so. And then November, Guilty Gear Strive.
So it seems like what they're doing is kind of picking something, and that's the thing that they'll run with like several series and
Well,
have your booster boxes and your starters.
I think
your
I think
DLC
My Hero
type
is going to be
things.
the only continuous set, and then the rest of them they're just doing small batch releases because they don't have to purchase the IP for that long. They purchase the IP for that one release, and then they never have to buy the set again because they don't release them again.
I just had a mad mind blank, and I think I've already corrected myself while thinking about it. But One Piece was a different mechanic, wasn't it?
One Piece is more Magic the Gathering style.
So
okay.
I think that's it's a
its own
standalone
card
game.
game,
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. Because we tried that. And it was shit.
Yeah,
So yes, I think this is a brilliant idea because it allows the fact that it's compatible across all the different sort of themes is really interesting because that way, like people will be hooked in with, well, it's a Ninja Turtles deck. I'm going to get that one. Or that's this show that I enjoy watching. So I think that's a great idea.
They are limited release.
Yes.
And I'd say it's because of the IP thing because there's a Japanese card game called Weishwartz, which does the same thing. Essentially, they get an IP, they release one starter deck and a booster box of that IP. And then once the stock's gone, that's it. You can never buy it again. They never release it again. And essentially, I imagine it would be they pay the money for that IP for that release date or that set. And they're like, the anime studio would be, okay, this much, boom, boom, done. And they never do it again. So they've done multiple, like so many different sets because they do, I think it's like the Vi is one style and the Schwartz is the other style.
Yeah, okay.
And like one is all the animes. And then the other one is like the cute girl anime ones, like the sort of like a little bit of my aunties kind of girl. Whereas the other one's like Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online, all that kind of stuff.
Could have made that far more exaggerated for what it's like. The cards are fucking
I
out
have no
there.
doubt. Yeah, I have
The
no doubt.
cards are out there.
So UFS releasing those guys. So some of those I want to get. I really fucking wish I got the Vox Machina sets, but
I think
they
they still.
I think they're like $100.
They're very expensive.
$100.
Yeah, I have a mate that sort of looked into that because he's right into the show and it's like it just wasn't worth my money to get it now because it's very limited sets available and everyone's just put it through the roof.
Yep. So that's that. And I believe you got something to talk about.
Yeah. I thought I'd throw this out there because we spoke about, or at least this theme a couple of weeks ago. We spoke about the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie. Now, there is a game that's coming out, a miniature scenario-based miniature game, Planet of the Apes, and it is set in between, within the Caesar trilogy, in between the second and third movie. Now, surprise, surprise, I fell down a rabbit hole. So this is...
Give us the breakdown.
It's been around the traps for a fucking long time. So they tried to release it on Kickstarter in 2019 and unfortunately it failed. It's definitely changed the methodology that they're going around it because back then they had a premise and a basis. They had expansions already, but they were already expanding the world way too far. Like they were trying to get the original ape things, like ape movies into it straight off the bat. And it just didn't hit well and some of the mechanics were a bit Now, they had an overview in 2019 and 2017 they had like a Gen Con Bonanza like release type thing as well. So they've been developing it for a very long time. Now it's looking to come out and get released on GameFound later this year and go through another attempt to sort of sell it. Now from a creator perspective, it was by WYSIWYG Games. Never heard of them, but they are now releasing it as Zeta Alive. Now, I couldn't really tell, but it looks like they're ultimately the same thing, just like an off-brand type element to what it was. With the same designer listed as a founder for both of them. So, I don't know. Maybe he's just scheming. Now, I put it in here because it looks quite interesting. It's a scenario-based cooperative game. So it's not Apes vs. Humans. It is Apes vs. Humans, but it's not me versus you, me as the apes,
we play as the apes versus
yeah,
humans.
exactly. We all play as the apes versus the humans. And the mechanic is interesting in that the humans can never actually see the apes. So they've got trees where you can be up on the trees high up in the ground, off the ground in the sky. Or the idea is that when you're on the ground, you're within bushes and you're sort of hiding and rustling through those. But when the apes make attack, you increase your threat within that location because the humans are more or less trigger happy. They hear something, threat increase, they'll shoot into those locations. And the idea is to collect your missions or whatever the idea of that scenario is for the apes to win.
Yeah, it follows that sort of trope you see it all the time, like the video games and things like that, where you've got to like sneak past and cause a distraction over here, so the guard goes that way, so you can go this way.
Exactly.
Yeah, it sounds all right.
And from
to me, it sounds a lot more like a board game than a.
It is. It is a miniature board game.
Yeah,
it is definitely a miniature board game.
See, I have big issues with IP-based games. They're very rarely any good. There are, in my opinion, for the games I've played, and I've played a lot of games, two that have stuck the landing, and that is the Firefly game and Battlestar Galactica.
Yep.
Every other IP game I've ever played, it's just
fell short.
Yeah, it's just they're a lot of the times they're a semi-decent game wrapped in the IP. Half the time the IP has nothing to do with the game.
So I know that the IP does have something to do with the game because I know that the developer was actually in with the director of the movies and whatnot. So there is some sort of linkage there, or at least some involvement and I don't know, cross-pollination of ideas, so to speak, that goes into the game. So that is there. I was interested in it for like a couple of reasons. A, I like the idea of the cooperative play and going through the scenario-based board game element. The miniatures within it look fucking incredible. Like they're actually super detailed. Look like it'd be awesome fun to paint and put together and whatnot. But I think the biggest drawback in relation to it is, and it'll be interesting once the campaign is sort of live and you can read more into it, is that if they're not releasing more scenarios, it has a very low replayability.
Yeah.
That was probably my biggest concern. If they don't bring out a way for it to fall into a little bit more of a war game element, where maybe even there is like a tabletop skirmish perspective where it is apes versus humans and things like that, then it sort of starts to lose the element to just keep.
But even with that, I think you're hamstrung by the fact that it's just humans versus apes, and eventually you get bored of it.
I agree to a point, and that's where the next piece would be the mechanics, and if the mechanics are interesting. So I would love to see what they come when they actually release the campaign, just to see what the gameplay and the mechanics around the gameplay is like. And I think that'll be more or less my input as to whether I do or don't back it. I don't think I will. I just thought it was an interesting one to talk about.
I mean, in all honesty, they're not getting my money.
No.
I have no interest in that game. I looked at it. I looked into it when I first got the ad for it on Facebook, and I was kind of looked at it and I was like, no. Like just the theme doesn't get me straight up, and even then, like just the mechanics of it, I was just like, yeah.
Okay.
And also, I've got enough of those fucking cooperative games that I don't need any more. I don't need any more fucking minis to paint.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie.
That's
exactly.
You're a war gamer. There is no such thing.
Let me lie to myself. If I say it enough, I will believe it.
No, you won't.
It's true, I won't.
Yeah, I thought it was a little interesting one, especially with the and I was very interested looking into how game developers can have some fun with it, so to speak, or not some fun with their attempted releases and renaming their fucking company.
Because it makes sense what I just said before about IP-based games struggling because you are limited with what you can do. Like I know I've played the Harry Potter deck builder where you basically go through, you've got 7 levels, each level effectively is the year group you go through, and there is a bit of replayability in that, in the sense of each round, like the order of the bosses that they come out is different, so the way you played is always going to be different. But yeah, you are kind of hamstrung in the sense of you're stuck with those characters doing those things where there are some cool abilities in the game, but it could be more if it wasn't hamstrung to the fact it's Harry Potter.
With that one, that wasn't a horrible game, but they tried a couple of mechanics for a deck builder, which I just felt didn't really nail the deck building world. Because you've got your staples of deck builder, which are like your Dominions, your Cryptozoic deck builder, your Legendary, Ascension kind of things, Star Realms. Like they're like the big granddaddies of deck builders. Like Dominion started it all. Yeah, a lot of games copied Dominion. Cryptozoic kind of took it one way and they went really well, and they've done 5 million different versions of that. Legendary took it a different way with like a fully cooperative kind of system, and they nailed that, and they've released 5 million expansions for that. And Ascension was made by, they kind of took the Cryptozoic method, but it was developed by ex-Magic the Gathering champions. So it was a lot more trading cardy, and then Star Realms also was the same thing, made by Magic the Gathering champions, and it's very similar to Ascension in a way, but much smaller box kind of thing. And I just felt it didn't nail it. They tried something, and props to them for that, but it just didn't nail it in my opinion. But yeah, like Battlestar, when you play Battlestar Galactica, you are playing Battlestar Galactica, the show. Like they nailed every aspect of that game, like hidden Cylons, and you don't trust people, so you lock them in fucking jail, and you got a constant threat of Cylons.
We do need to play that
you.
game again. That is such a fun game.
It's fantastic. It's also worth about $1,000 now.
That's why I come to play games at your house. Because
it's out of print, and they re-released it, but as unfathomable with a Cthulhu theme on top of it. And then Firefly it's Firefly. Like you are literally going to a planet, picking up a job, flying from that planet to another planet, paying that job off, all whilst trying to avoid the Imperial people. Fucking nailed it. A lot of Star Wars games nail it as well. Yeah. But yeah. All right. Well, let's get on to anime. And last episode, if you listened to it, we talked about our top...
What do you mean if? When you listened
to it. We talked about our top 3 sort of gateway beginner animes. And we thought it would be a fun sort of continuation / carry on / let's belittle some animes.
We thought this would be a fun way to piss people off.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to do that with my list.
So these are the top 3 severely overrated animes. So animes that
in our opinion,
animes that we feel are severely overrated, and people just give them way too much praise.
So I initially struggled this because most of the animes I've watched, I'm like, this is pretty good. Hence why I've watched it all the way through. Why I'm over 1,000 episodes deep into One Piece. But after I was chatting to my mate Sam about this, we went down a rabbit hole with a few mainstreamy animes, and we got our rants on.
I found it is the more mainstream ones because they're the ones that people talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Zach, why don't you start us off, mate?
So I'm going to start off with Death Note.
Well, we're not fucking holding back, are we?
Take that knife out. Wow.
So,
just stabbed 50% of our fucking fan base right there.
I think we've said this a few times when we've said various things, but look, it's been a great run. We've had a good show so far.
37 episodes. It was great. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
To be fair, I think I get more controversial as this list goes on. So,
oh, God.
Look, Death Note as a whole, as I said, Sam and I had a big conversation about this, and I got an essay of text from him at the end of it. So it's a wildly good idea. It's just not executed properly, I think. I think it is good, but it could be better in the sense of like...
from what I've heard, the manga is a lot better as well.
The live action with William Dafoe in it, pretty cool. William Dafoe plays Ryuk, the demon in the show.
Take that fucking back.
You didn't like the live action? I didn't mind it.
The Japanese live actions are fantastic.
Yeah, they're top notch. But basically, like, it comes down to, even in the first like 7-8 episodes of the show, the writer realized he fucked up massively. So there's a character, Naomi, whose husband is killed by Light early on in the show, and she's like some gigabrain FBI like character, and gets super close to figuring out who he is straight away. And the author realized, this is a really good character, but she's too close too soon. And just in one episode, midway through, it's like she gets a stroke and is like, hi, my name's Naomi, and kills herself, and like Light's then able to kill her, and that's it. And I'm like, she was a really good character, and now she's just gone. And the whole way through, it's the same thing. Like the plot armor gets Light out of so many things, and rather than him actually figuring it out and being a cool character coming up with an interesting solution, he kind of just flops his way through it and gets it all through. And like Elle was a cool character that then again killed off too soon, I feel.
Yeah.
And then they brought like the guys that they brought in to replace Elle, who eventually catch Light, were less interesting than Elle was himself.
Yeah,
So,
I kind of feel like Elle should have made it the whole way through. He should have been the one to catch him.
like, again, I've started watching it a few times, and usually end up getting distracted by something else. Not because it's not, as I said, it's not a bad show. I just feel like the hype it gets is more than it needs because of a few of the things.
From what I've read, the anime fills in a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
Not the anime, the manga. I've got the manga. I've got a whole heap of them in PDF form. And apparently it fills in a whole heap of gaps, which makes it a lot better. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about overrated animes. And nice work. Good way to...
Good way to end the show. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'll keep it coming. Don't worry.
I'll
keep it going.
What are you
Well,
got, mate?
I only had 2 in my list because I got distracted and didn't do a third.
Fair enough.
So you do yours, and then we'll come back to me on the next round.
Okay, so my first one, and this is going to be very much on the vein of yours. It's going to piss some fucking people off. Mine is Cowboy fucking Bebop.
Haven't watched it, but it's...
Fuck, it is overrated. It is such an overrated
Is that the
show.
original or the new one?
No, so there's one anime and then there's the live action.
Oh, the live action. Sorry, yeah, that's right.
I enjoyed the live action.
I loved the live action, but all the anime fans hated the live
I've
action.
not watched the anime.
I hate the anime, or hate's a strong word, but it does not deserve all the praise that it gets. The music is amazing. Like the soundtrack is phenomenal. It's like the exact same soundtrack because it's by the same guy that did the live action. But the anime is just, it's boring as fucking bad shit. I found myself, it took me a long time to finish, and it's only like 20 something episodes. It took me a long time to finish it. And it's just, and I watched it under the guise of, oh, this is great. Everyone loves this anime. It's classed as one of the best animes ever made, blah, blah, blah. It's on every single list. And I was watching, I was like,
Why?
But that's why I think, as we said, the whole concept of being overrated, I think sometimes the more hype shows get, ruins it for new people coming into it, because you expect a show to be 100 out of 10 and it's like 8 out of 10. You're like, it's good, but it's not like everyone thought it was going to be up here sort of thing. So.
Yeah, so that's mine. Well, let's go back to Zach for his second one then.
So my second one is Bleach. So one of the big 3 shonen, and that's basically why I've put it up there, is I've watched the 3 of them, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. And Bleach, I'd probably say, has some of the strongest elements, but overall is probably the weakest.
See, I've only actually watched I've never watched the anime, I've watched the live action Netflix movie.
I haven't watched that.
Wait,
I didn't know that was that.
Wait, what's Bleach about?
Bleach is the one where old mate becomes effectively a...
Like a demon hunter?
Kind of, yeah. They go around and hunt the souls. So he's a soul hunter, a soul reaper.
So they did an anime of live action of that, and it got bagged, but I loved it. I
haven't seen it because at the moment it's all on Disney.
It's all a lower third.
Yeah,
what's it called? Subtitled movie, but it's really good. I enjoyed it, the live action.
I'll give it a look. But yeah, so obviously Bleach, the original, is on Disney, and the sort of sequel to it, The 1,000 Year Blood War, which is a continuation of the story, is also on Disney, with the final season coming out later this year, I believe. Look, as I said, again, it's a pretty cool show. There are some very interesting plot lines, and like the power mechanics are cool, with the fact that all these Soul Reapers have swords. They've got the 3 levels. You've got your basic level. You've then got your mid level, which is the Shikai, where they all sort of start to get some powers where it might be, you know, I've got an extendable serrated sword now, or it turns into like an ice beam and some cool things before you go to the final level of the Bonkai, which is like reserved for your elite Soul Reapers.
I just seen what the live action was. I have watched that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's I'm not writing home about it.
Oh,
But
no,
it's
it was
not too
corny as fuck, but it was good. It was enjoyable.
but yeah, so like my biggest problems with it is the filler in it is ridiculous. Like there are full like 30, 40, 50 episode season fillers, which are like start out interesting until you realize, wait, this has no real point. So like, let's just skip it. And the big bad in the end had so much promise. He started out that the reveal is he is one of the elite Soul Reapers, and turns out he's actually been like a double agent, like undermining them the whole time, which is such a cool reveal at the time. But then the end fight scene with him was just a bit underwhelming. I thought there's another scene earlier where his sort of elite minions, the Espada, they have a ranking system 1 through to 9. The fight the main character has with Ulquiorra, who is number 4 on that list, was probably one of the best fight scenes in the show, and that, as I said, was not the big bad. So for me, it was just a bit underwhelming. Again, decent show. The 1,000 Year Blood War, the second one's pretty good. Looking forward to the last one coming out. But yeah, I just think for being classed as one of the big 3, I just don't see it as that.
Have you watched Baratu?
No, I haven't watched
Baratu
it yet.
or whatever it's
Boruto.
called. Yeah, it's a sequel to Naruto.
They're actually going to. So there's Naruto Shippuden, and then Boruto, and they're going to release another series apparently between Shippuden and Boruto.
Yeah, why not? Let's just
flog the dead horse. But yeah,
milk that cow.
Oh, look, I'll watch it. But yeah.
All right, Brock. Here we are.
Well, on that
drum
note,
roll.
on that-
Wait. We need a drum roll for this. Here we go. Are you ready? Oh, wait, we don't have a drum roll anymore.
Applause will do.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
And that's my drum roll, everybody. Now, on the note of flogging a dead horse, mine is Naruto.
Hey, there it is. There it is.
Now, Naruto or Naruto Shippuden?
It doesn't matter. But the reason I did it is because it's got a bunch of hype. It's meant to be great. You're meant to be able to sit down, watch it, love it, go along the ride for the story. I couldn't get through one fucking episode because I sat down and watched it.
I'm with you, bro. I couldn't get through the first episode.
I sat down, started to watch it. I couldn't even tell you what fucking happened because I put it on and it just was not engaging whatsoever.
Is there a reason they have whiskers?
Oh,
'Cause they're cats.
His main one does. That's because there are these tailed beasts that are rampaging through, and the way they solve that is
we'd know that if we got to episode 2.
So they seal these beasts away into different ninjas, and the main character Naruto has the nine-tailed fox beast in him, and hence the whiskers from the fox.
But doesn't he have tails?
They morph when his power becomes unleashed,
Yeah.
and they turn into like chakra tails.
See, it sounds really interesting.
They
Couldn't
run
get
cool.
past episode 1.
To be honest, I started watching it with Shippuden, which then sort of I forced myself to watch Naruto to get the backstory for Shippuden, because Shippuden was fantastic for the most part. Again, for me, it lets itself down with having some season filler arcs that are massively too long.
I mean, if you're going to watch an anime where it has to do with like that era, like ninja kind of thing, you want to watch Kenshin Ronin or whatever it's called. That's a fucking phenomenal show. Samurai X, essentially. Yeah, much better. All right, that was yours.
Yeah, that's
Naruto?
I couldn't watch it. I just didn't get for
ready for
something's
this?
meant to be fucking amazing.
Are you ready for this?
Is it Naruto?
I know, because if Zach's first one, Death Note, got rid of half our audience,
This will get rid of the other half.
you know it. And probably that same 50% he has got rid of. Mine is Attack on Titan.
I almost put this on my list.
Such a fucking overrated show.
Before you go down that route,
I know you like this show.
what I would say is that I 100% agree with the latter half. So I think it ran for 4 seasons. Last 2 seasons, 100% agree. First 2 seasons, 100% do not agree. I thought the first 2 seasons were incredibly done and drew in and they had the action, the blood, the gore, the story, the drive and everything. And then the second 2 seasons, they just get a bit outlandish.
See, I've started, I haven't finished it, but
Still overrated.
for me, it seems to have just, it's like on John Farnham's retirement tour. I'm pretty sure it was like last year the final season was coming out, and then all of a sudden part 2 of the final season still coming out, and now there's a final movie to finally end the show. And
I think that's sort of the show's ends with the
show's
with the-
done.
Yeah, the show's done. It ended with the season, which was November last year for the second part of the season. The movies, it's one of those things where the movies they
It
might
takes
add
all
a
the
little
parts.
bit.
Yeah, it takes all the things and turns it into a movie, and so they get a theatrical release essentially. They do it with pretty much every Gundam's had it. Like the original Gundam series was 50 episodes long. They turned it into 3 movies and theatrically release them. But it's just overrated. It's a good anime. Don't get me wrong. It's got cool things. The fucking zipline thing's cool. Naked, weird-looking men running around and getting their necks chopped was pretty cool. His transformation was cool, but it was boring. It was just boring. I think that's my criteria for this list. It's just boring. I didn't find it very exciting. The storyline was very predictable.
I 100% agree with the
And
second
I mean, the end of it when he turns into a giant fucking skeleton that no physical way on earth could he walk. Like,
because logic's what you want to bring to an anime.
oh no, like
yeah, he's right.
it's like a blue whale skeleton with dwarf feet.
And, multiply
and it's like this in the sky, and it kind of walks like this, and so like
so I need to finish it purely just to watch this scene.
and it's phenomenally huge.
Yeah,
Have you watched any of it?
Yeah, I've watched. I said the first season.
Right, so
and
you get the idea that, like, I mean, if that's the person height, then you've got Titan height. And then you've got, like, I think the Colossal Titan is
it's going to be great for our
type.
podcast listeners.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And then sometimes I forget that this is not a visual media.
So for all those just listening and not watching, if he's about this tall and the other things are about this tall, just go off our voice of and
It's fucking massive.
yeah,
Right, okay, yeah.
it's huge. If you watch on YouTube, there's a channel called Corridor Crew. There's a guy in it called Ren. He does a size comparison of how big these things are, and yeah, it's big.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my second one.
Stupidly big.
What do you got for your last one, buddy?
All right, so I almost, Brock, don't hit me. I almost put Dragon Ball Super down purely because Dragon Ball Z is like, it was my show growing up, and Dragon Ball Super just not Dragon Ball Z for me. Like, I've tried to watch it a few times, and I just haven't fully invested myself into it yet.
I do agree with that because I feel that they've kind of done the whole they've just OP'd it, and like there's Super Saiyan's just nothing anymore, and it's just infuriating because that's what the entirety of my childhood was building up to, was the 25 episodes it took fucking Goku to charge up whilst fighting Frieza.
Yeah. So I said I'd almost put that down, but I didn't. I have
Smart move.
I have
Otherwise you're fired.
I've never been able to say this one right. Evangelion.
Yeah.
Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah. Basically, as I said, this is one more because I said
So rather than piss me off, you pissed him off.
You're fucking fired. Get off our fucking show.
So
I was going to change the intro so your name was included in it, but no, fuck you.
I'm actually super happy that he's come to me and said, look, I was going to do this, but I didn't for you. But anyways, AJ, fuck you.
all feedback, AJ, I'll pass on to
So
Sam for this one.
are we talking the movies or the series?
The series.
Okay, because the series was retconned.
No, and again, so this is not one that I think overly is necessarily all that bad. I think it just gets more hype than it needed.
Nice cover.
I do agree with you on that. It's a lot of hype for what it is, but it's one of those animes where you've got to really like the theme to enjoy it. Like I got Brock to watch the movies, and like he did not like them anywhere near as much as I like them, because that's my type of shit. I like the ones where it's finished and you sit there and you go, the fuck did I just watch?
No, that's not bad, but for me, I think this gets a lot of its hype from the fact it was like almost like the first of its kind.
Oh yeah,
and so therefore it gets hyped up because of that. Like, so other shows and then since then gone on and done the same things, maybe a little bit better, but this gets more of the hype just because it was the first.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as I said,
it's one of the first animes that took the mecha genre in a different direction.
Yeah. Like I said, overall, like I said, it's literally, I have the line written down. Is it a bad show? No, it's very watchable and people will mainly enjoy it. I just think, as I said, it's one where most people that have watched it will say it's one of those 12 out of 10 shows where in reality it's probably like a 7 out of 10 sort of thing. It's a very watchable show, but not as good as a lot of people say.
I will put it to you, to anyone out there, if you've only watched the series and you're kind of on Zach's plane with his opinion of it, give the movies a crack, because the series, he didn't get to finish it how he wanted to finish it either,
Right.
because the studio stepped in, blah, 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 blah. So they re-released it as 4 movies, and they're all on Amazon Prime. But the first 2 are essentially the series rewritten, with new characters introduced and stuff like that. And then 3 and 4 are completely brand new, and they go in a fucking very different direction to the series.
Yep.
But it's still very much that it's a very over the top plot that you've really got to think about. And
and that's just it. Like
I can see why people don't like it. I honestly can.
But that's part of my notes is the fact it's like the creator's ideas on like trauma and coping with, and like the psychology of it and all those things. So there are some very interesting themes in the show. I said it's more. For me, overrated doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just gets more hype than it needed.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I can see where people come from that one. It's because Zach, not Zach, you're Zach. Brock didn't like it anywhere near as much as I liked it. So,
But I mean, I'm just trying to see what.
I don't think we've ever talked about the 4th one, have we?
Yeah, we did. I'm pretty sure we did, because I got all of them. Oh no, we only spoke about the 3.
Yeah, we haven't spoken.
And
about
we
the 4th
said
one yet.
we won't bother talking about the 4th one at the time. But go back to episodes 20 and episode 21. You can
He
have
keeps track of all the stuff we talk about.
Yeah, have a look at episode. See, this is what I bring to the show.
Yeah.
This is why I did what upset him.
Because I'll let you know when you said it.
He brings research. I bring the prettiness, and I guess
I'll bring the vibes.
Sure. let's go with that. You can be the guy that gets fired every episode.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm glad that you forgot that this is also not a visual media.
Well, it is. People can watch it on YouTube, but most of our listeners are on podcasts.
Yep. So go back to episode 20, episode 21. We had a bit more of a dive into Neon Genesis 1.1, 2.2, and 3.3.
Yes, and I guess we'll talk about 4.44 at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, because they got weird naming conventions. Because in Japan they're like 1.00, 2.0, but then for some reason the English translations are like, let's call it 1.11. That makes sense.
Yes, I do love the border between Japanese and us with some of the way they're translated for many a thing.
Yeah. I found out there's I can't remember what the anime was, but I was watching a thing and apparently it was translated back when Funimation were doing all the translations and stuff, and apparently the Japanese people who own the anime didn't give a fuck, and none of the censors or anything cared about anime at that point. So they just push the boundaries with the translation to try and get away with as much as they can. And like this anime is like, they're like, you know, saying things that you watch and you're like, oh, you can't say that. And like multiple times in an episode, you're like, you can't say that. Like a big hairy dick and stuff like that. They're saying about Carrie, like, look at these ball sacks. Oh my God. And just like calling people's color of their skin and stuff like that. And it's out there. I can't remember what it was called. I have to Google it, but apparently it's like the worst dubbed anime ever, but it's just hilarious to watch for that sheer fact. All right. What do we got? How many fans are you going to run away?
Probably not many, to be honest, with this one. And I threw this on there because it's just a show that I didn't fucking enjoy. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, yep. That's fair enough.
Like it's
Again,
got
what one?
Just it. I mean,
they all continue on from each other.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where the plot armor trope of like always drawing the right card at the right time is definitely overplayed, but you're kind of stuck with it.
It's absolutely fucking hammered. The prick can lose one fucking game of cards. It's all right. I mean, it just like when I was younger, I did enjoy watching it. But it's because I just didn't know what was going on. It was monsters. It was like a card game. It was sort of just following that sort of thing. I went back and tried to watch it when I was just a little bit older. I was looking at it going, what the fuck is this? Like, it's fucking, what's going on? Like, okay, cool. Concept of they're playing a card game and they're bringing that card game to reality within the playing fields and whatnot. But then it sort of fucking ends from the corners right there because he's always got the card, and it plays the suspense right to the end of the show and leaves you on the cliffhanger of, oh my God, he's about to be beaten, and oh, not card.
One
I got the card.
So looking back at Yu-Gi-Oh
Got the card again.
As someone that's
And another
older, and
one.
you're like, building a deck, like how big is his deck? Because like he's playing cards all of a sudden in this random fight at the end that he's never played in the whole lead up in all those matches leading up to it. You're like, and as a game now, I'm like, that's just not possible.
But then also the thing around that is that he's always got a fucking counter, right? But to your point, he's got this new card, but then it'll explain why he ended up with that card in his deck, and it'll explain it for 10 minutes. You're like, it's a fucking cartoon. He's now got the fucking card in the deck play.
Let's just remember, it's a show made to sell cards. It didn't have to have a storyline.
It does it well. To be fair, I've watched Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, which was not a bad, and again takes it down a whole different route of the gaming cards. Brings superheroes into it, mate. It's sick.
No, and then there was one with the dice.
That was in Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. That was like a filler arc where the dungeon dice monsters.
That was because they tried to sell them and it wasn't successful, so they got rid of that.
And then you've got the another one which is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, where they fight on motorbikes. It's all about the speed of your bike.
So Zach was trying not to upset me. It sounds like I might have upset Zach a little bit.
No.
Great job, guys. We've all upset each other.
No, I completely agree. I said it's one of those ones where you look, as I said, you look back as a kid and it's great, but you look back on today and you're like, even now, I'm like, I overrated that show.
Yeah.
Well, I've been watching it with my kid. He got into Yu-Gi-Oh! So I've had to buy him Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and all that stuff. He fucking loves the anime. So, kind of tells you the mindset that they designed the show for.
100%.
Look, going back to the last episode of A Gateway, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a great gateway episode for kids to get into.
Yeah, for them to spend all my money
not for your
buying
parents'
fucking
wallet,
cards.
but for the kids to get into it, it's great.
To be fair, he was always going to fall into that habit.
It's one of those card games as well, which I never got into it just for the sheer fact of you have to have a degree in the English language to be able to read a single card, and it takes you 5 minutes to explain, okay, I've drawn this card. Now, this card, if I move 3 cards in different positions, and then those 3 cards interact with another card of this specific name, and then that specific named card is sitting in my other deck.
The power
explaining the show.
The power creep in it was insane. For me, it was just the you needed a maths degree. Like you needed a calculator next to it to be able to do all the maths and shit.
I reckon they did. I reckon they put all that bullshit in there just so everyone could feel like they were like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Explaining the shit out of everything he was fucking doing in the show.
No, it's a Japanese card game thing. A lot of them have it, like the Dragon Ball Super card game has like real super heavy text heavy cards. Digimon didn't start that way, but it ended up that way.
Even Pokemon started to have. So I haven't really looked at a lot of the newer cards, but the older cards was just like Ember does this damage. Now it's like has a wall of text for everything.
It's not that bad.
It's not as bad, but it's definitely increased over time.
But they OP'd all the cards by releasing the EX cards and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I agree with Yu-Gi-Oh! I can see where you're coming from for that one. My last one is a show that everyone raved about when it came out. I watched it and
Who are you upsetting?
I don't think many people in this one because I watched it and I was like,
we've already upset them all.
that was shit. That was stupid. I'm never going to ever watch that again. And that is One Punch Man.
Oh, no, you're upsetting a lot of people with that one.
Because I know.
I mean, in this room.
Oh, in this room, no, not so much. But
we've already upset everyone,
I
all the listeners.
I get what they're going for with it. The fact that it's like a parody of all the other animes, blah, blah, blah. It's just boring. And again, that's my excuse to have it on this list. It wasn't entertaining. And it was just parodied, like it was parodying all the things that we find hilarious in animes, but it just wasn't a good show.
Oh, I think from what I've heard, so I haven't watched it, but from what other people have told me, the villains are usually more dynamic and interesting than the hero.
Well, that's all. He's got no facial expression.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point of it.
One punches people and they die.
It's ripping off the Simpsons episode where Homer just lifts weights in the one arm constantly.
It wasn't a good show. It doesn't deserve to have the hype that it got.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a show where you either love it or you hate it. There is no sort of middle ground for it.
Pretty much. So that was my one. So now that we've pissed people off, let's
bring them back in.
Let's bring them back in and let's talk about some trailers. Let's talk about those trailers. So this first one surprised the fuck out of me. I didn't know it was coming, and I thought it, and that is Will and Harper.
Yeah, watched the trailer and it was very different.
When it first came up, I thought it was going to be another one of those piss take
That's what I
Will
thought.
Ferrell movies.
Yeah.
And then it progressed further. I'm like, oh, no.
No, this is very serious.
Very,
Yeah.
very serious.
So essentially, for those who haven't watched the trailer yet, essentially it's Will, him.
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, that's one. And his longtime friend who used to be the head writer of SNL, or a writer, like they started at the same time.
Yep.
He ended up becoming the head writer of SNL. And I can't remember what was his first name.
Previously known as Andrew Steele, now has transitioned and is Harper Steele.
Yes, so essentially a friend used to be male, now becomes a female, and she sends Will a message saying, like email saying, look, I just needed to tell you I'm transitioning. How do you feel about that, blah, blah. And then Will decides we're going to go on a road trip across America and just talk it out and film it and see what happens. And that's the doco.
And yeah, that is the doco.
Is it a series or a movie?
It's a movie. It's actually getting a theatrical release in the States on the 13th of September, so very, very shortly. And then it's getting a worldwide streaming release on Netflix September 27th.
Just from watching the trailer, like it looks like it's one of those ones where you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to do all the emotions. It's going to pump you through the ringer.
It looks like it's going to be, I think for the most part, the feeling that I got that it was going to be quite heartwarming. Yeah. I just got that feeling from the trailer. Like, as you said, it's definitely going to have some moments where you're going to be pulling real hard at the heartstrings. But it seems like it's going to be quite heartwarming. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see where the balance is between that. I'm very interested to watch this.
For someone who's transitioned like that, who's spent their entire life as a male, now a female.
In that industry too.
Yeah, it's a big move to make a documentary about that with your friend.
And it's a big move for her, but it's a big move for Will as well, because it's something that could very easily backfire on him depending on how it's portrayed and the public reaction. No, it shouldn't, but unfortunately in today's world, like I said, if there's a joke he makes in there that offends people, it's going to go south quickly.
But the thing is there are jokes in there, and there are going to be jokes because there was a joke in the trailer. Which was fucking. I
love that. It's like super emotional, and it's like, I want my friends to talk to me about this. I want them to ask questions.
To ask questions. You can.
I've got a question for you.
Are you
a worse driver now?
Yeah, the thing I wrote it down because it was.
And you just see her face go.
Huh? What?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I mean,
probably.
He goes, fuck you. But yeah, I am. And you're just like, okay. So, and that sets the tone where they're going to have that banter between each other.
And that's the thing where between them, they're going to be fine because Will know like what he can do, how far he can push the boundaries with her. But it's not so much her that will be offended.
It's more when they go into like, because it looks like they go through the regional towns.
Yeah, and they'll be
going. Those regional towns, we're not American, so we don't really know. But what we've gotten as portrayed by media and stuff like that, usually those regional towns, middle towns, quite conservative, and they're usually against that kind of stuff due to religion and stuff.
And the sense that I got as well is that these are a lot of things that Harper would have done previously, but is now quite reserved and worried about. Yeah,
and experiencing her past life as a him, what those activities are said now as a her, where obviously she'll be portrayed and accepted differently by those communities involved.
And being able to take Will along for that journey with her as well. It's going to be, look, I'm very, very keen to watch this. I think it's going to be an amazing, heartwarming, heartstring, tearjerker story that'll be, very keen. And interested to see the banner, interested to see how they interact, and I'm really interested to see the different reactions they get from people that they meet.
Yeah, that's for me. It's not so much the journey. It's the activities they sort of get up to along the way that'll be interesting to see how it's all reacted and unfolds.
Yep. But have a look. As I said, September 27th, it's coming to Netflix. Unless you're in the States and giving our podcast a bit of a gander, you can watch it in a couple of days on the 13th.
There you go, yeah. We do have a couple of American people listening.
Lucky ducks.
If you are from America listening, share it with more of your American colleagues.
Thank you.
On to our next trailer. Which one who wants to go? Let's go. Let's do it. Someone pick one. Let's do it.
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Okay.
April 4th, 2025. Director Jared Hess. Oh, wow. That's some amazing writing. This guy knew as her. Absolutely. magnificent movie that was
It's okay,
Napoleon
guys.
Dynamite.
He just had a stroke. Oh, did he do Napoleon Dynamite?
He did Napoleon Dynamite,
nice.
Nacho Libre, Masterminds, comedy based on true events with Zach Galifianakis, Owen Wilson, Kristen Wiig, Jason Sudeikis. This one is starring Jason Momoa, Jack Black, Daniel Brooks. We've also got a couple of younger persons, but we got Emma Myers, who was in Wednesday as Enid. So some may recognise her as well. But
Do we have a rating for the show?
It'll be PG.
I'm assuming it will be a PG movie, obviously for the kids. But it was just interesting to know where they were going to go with it, because I didn't quite see the trailer when we watched the trailer.
It's PG. It's PG, 100%.
so-
have you not watched the trailer?
I have watched the trailer. I just missed the rating. Sorry, that's what I was getting at.
There's been a lot of hate on the internet about
I'm not
this since the trailer
surprised.
dropped. Everyone wants it to get the Sonic treatment
Oh, yeah.
because everyone feels that it looks. I don't know whether they think it's too real or.
Well, obviously,
Minecraft is fucking like 8-bit graphics. Like they want to have an 8-bit
I
graphic
don't
movie.
know.
Why?
I personally think it looks fantastic.
It looks
like
great.
The graphics look awesome.
The CGI that's been put into this is fucking
I
incredible.
love the shape of the animals. They look fucking the thing at the end of it.
I mean, they've gone for that block component from Minecraft and whatnot. It comes across well. Like it's a little more rounded rather than pure square edge.
I think
but
that's
I mean,
the biggest thing is it's not completely cubed. Like there are round edges, and I said,
if they want the fucking 8-bit, they can go play Minecraft.
And then the other thing a lot of people complaining are about is that Jack Black is playing Steve, which is like the main character of Minecraft.
I didn't know. I don't know anything about
And
Minecraft.
a lot of people are complaining about that. And all I want to say to those people complaining is
You complain and you don't get the movies.
my son is a 6-year-old. He watched this trailer and he lost his fucking biscuits over it.
Of course he did.
He's so excited for this movie. So anyone who doesn't like it, I guarantee you are probably 20-somethings who used to play this game or still do on YouTube.
Yeah.
Calm your fucking tits,
See,
guys. You can watch R-rated movies now.
And it's one of the things. It's one of the things that I actually wrote about this. Like, so I'm not really excited for this movie. Like, to be honest, I'm not.
I wouldn't watch it
But-
if my son wasn't there.
And that's what I wrote down. I think that you'll be taking your son to see this. He's going to absolutely love it. And I think that because a lot of those animated movies or those movies that are for kids, they've got those the adult
adult
humor
one-liners,
sort of
yeah.
sprinkled in it.
I mean,
As
that's
long
what
as
Jason Momoa was there for.
Jason Momoa,
Mate,
that's what Jack Black's
sorry,
there for.
I'm
and-
all for Jason Momoa's haircut in this
it
movie.
looks so good, doesn't it?
the bangs.
That with the fucking pink jacket. Oh, it's so good.
But no, it's touching back on AJ's thing. Like, so through work, the game played Minecraft for work. Hate the game.
it is a stupid game.
Don't know the purpose of it. Don't see the point of it. The game is pointless.
You have to. There is actually a point. You're meant to get into the
I'm
end
sure
and fight the end
that-
of
I'm
grade.
sure
You're
there
meant
is.
to meet Steve.
But I said, being in the world of education, love it as a teaching tool. I use it all the time. Said Minecraft is used weekly in my classroom. But as you said before, the trailer came out and
Is that because you've had enough of the kids? You want to distract them, or
no, we create comic books in there, mate.
See, this here is a learning tool. This allows Zach to get the fuck out of here while the kids just be mind-numbingly bored by Minecraft.
No, we make comic books. We've built bridges and used different materials to build specific bridges.
Different blocks.
Yes. But no, like as you said before, like my whole class literally came in and I couldn't teach for 20 minutes until we discussed and watched the trailer because it's all I could talk about. So
Sure.
It will be a hit, just not for, as AJ said, the adult generation.
It's for kids, man.
Exactly.
All the people complaining are
Adults.
those people who grew up playing it when it first came out, and they're now the ones that run the YouTube channels. They all talk like 5-year-olds, dress like 5-year-olds
just
to try and sell it, but they're
upset.
actually 20.
They're upset that they're not in the movie.
Probably, I guarantee you there will be a lot.
So
of
if we hadn't
YouTubers and
abandoned
stuff.
and ruined our audience, we have now.
Yeah, I think we've hit every demographic
Fuck, really have.
to piss off.
All right, now who haven't we got off our list?
There's still a few more categories to come up.
Sure that we can fucking.
How can we piss off boomers? Let's go. What are the boomers like?
Oh, they've been pissed off already. They don't know how to work the fucking thing to play it.
We're running a podcast. I'm not happy.
The episode of South Park pretty much sums up Minecraft for me, the Minecraft episode. But yeah.
One of the interesting things that came from me is you mentioned Momoa. I love how he's going about his acting career. He has got the sense or the aura of, that looks cool. let's give it a fucking go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the darker, heavier type things, which is like your Game of Thrones, Conan,
Stargate Atlantis.
There you go. I mean, darker, heavier action. They're
would call
blood
that dark
driven
for
and
sure.
whatnot. But then you've got things like Aquaman, Fast and Furious, while still having action. They've got that lighter touch.
I love him in a Fast and Furious movie. Like,
Yeah.
you can tell he
He's
just
just there
rocked
to
up.
have
He's like,
fun.
I'm just here to have fun. I don't give a fuck.
And you can see that he had fun doing it. And I mean, then you've got things like Minecraft and you've got Slumberland, which are directed at a much younger audience. And again, he looks like he's just there, seen a role that he thought was interesting and is having a shitload of fun with it, which is pretty cool. I mean, and he's a great actor. I mean, the only time that you see him sort of not doing as well is when he knows that it's fucking gone to shit, i.e. Aquaman 2. You can see that he just turned up and said, give me my money, and then fucked around on stage for a little while.
And the other thing I'm happy with Minecraft is Jack Black didn't get cancelled from the Tenacious D issue.
He was never getting cancelled.
I didn't think he would, especially when he came out and distanced himself straight away from it. But it's pleasing to see that.
I mean, they've
he
already
did.
said they're getting back
Yeah, I
together.
was going to
so
say
that's all
already.
good.
Yeah, that's all fucking sorted. Yeah, I mean, I won't watch it. I'll probably watch it once it's out on the streaming services. But
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd say it'd probably be the same.
I'd be interested to hear your thoughts once you go see it in the cinema.
Yeah, I'll go watch it with my kid, eat the popcorn, all that kind of stuff.
It could very well also be a situation where he'll go watch it and we'll get the reviews from him and then we'll go watch it.
Yeah, he comes in and goes, "Oh my fucking god, guys, you need to go watch this movie."
Oh my God. Movie of the year.
Oh fuck!
All right, and our last trailer is Dune Prophecy. Now, I completely forgot that this was coming out.
For the fact that it wasn't on the trailer list until I put it on there, I figured you'd forgotten.
I completely forgot that it was even like it existed and was anything was happening with it.
So, from a showrunner perspective, we've got Alison Shapka. She was a writer on Alias, worked on Charmed, Lost, Brothers and Sisters, Fringe,
So, in other words, she's a J.J. Abrams writer.
CW, The Flash, Altered Carbon, Westworld in various roles from writing, producing, and executive producing. From a starring perspective, we have Travis Fimmel, Ragnar from Lothbrok. Ragnar Lothbrok
thought it was him.
Vikings.
Okay, you can tone it down a bit. You're distorting there. You're talking a little loud, buddy.
Just getting a little bit excited, man.
Chill out.
Getting a little bit excited. He's also in Warcraft. He's got a great beer company called
He's
Traveller.
also Australian.
He is Australian. Emily Watson, you'll know her face. She's done shitloads from way back when to today. You'll know
That's
her
very
face.
descriptive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the face.
Yep.
I've seen it somewhere before. I don't know where from, but I know it.
I didn't. She's got a very recognisable face. Olivia Williams, she did a voice in Rings of Power Season 2. She did Winter Blossom and Antwife.
Question: is this set before or after the Dune movies?
Before it's
a prequel.
yeah, it's I don't know if it has anything to do with the current movies.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's not linked in that same
it's
cinematic universe,
just-
but it's.
I think it's got the
based
capacity.
It's
the
based
capacity
more
to.
on the political landscape of the other parts of the world, not necessarily Dune. Yes, Dune in the books. Dune is the heart of the galaxy, just for the sheer fact of it produces the spice, and the spice is the only thing that allows galactic travel. Therefore, it is the most valuable planet on Earth, or in the galaxy. But this is more focused on essentially the Bene Gesserits, which are the witches, and they're kind of like the string pullers, and they go through all the different empires and the families and stuff and pull their strings and all that kind of stuff. And I'm very excited to watch a show not about Dune kind of thing, more about the political structure.
Yeah, it seems very much like Star Wars-esque in the sense of obviously you have the main storyline, but there are lots of other little storylines around that one that can be fleshed out and be very interesting to watch.
Books were the original books were Dune, Messiah, Children of Dune. I think he did a couple more after that, but then when he passed away, essentially his son, I think it was, and like a whole heap of other writers started writing other books. So you've got the Dune chapter books, and like there's a whole series of books based on the Witches, a whole series of books based on House Harkonnen, a whole series of books based on other houses.
Yeah. And this one seems to be more, as you said, based on the Witches and how they sort of influence through
So I think
for political power.
It kind of looks like it's more the
aura I
Witches
got.
and more the like Emperor and his family kind of stuff. I think I don't
Well,
know. what
and then
looks
like
It looks awesome.
from someone that doesn't know really much at all about Dune, watching the trailer didn't really give anything away.
No.
Definitely looked interesting, but yeah, like that's what I said. Like I've got plenty of questions to ask because it gives nothing away. So it's going to be a good watch, I think.
Yeah, I'm very keen.
And also, for someone who doesn't know much about Dune, watch I say this all the time.
The TV show on Sci-Fi?
The TV show,
Yeah.
the Sci-Fi one, so much better.
I've heard that recommendation
Yeah,
from a podcast somewhere else before.
It gives more
Before
of the
it got
story. It gives more of the story than the movies does.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it looks fantastic. No, I'll watch the shit out of it.
100%. I'm more intrigued to see this than what I was when the Dune trailers came out.
Yeah, in all honesty, the Dune movies, and we've said this before, obviously, they were good movies, but they weren't great movies. They were visually fucking stunning.
So if you don't see them at the cinema, just
Yeah, but the sci-fi series was better.
So I haven't seen the Dune movies for that reason. Like I found out too late that I needed to see it at the movie, the first one, and then when I hadn't seen the first one, I didn't really see much point watching the second one. I will end up watching it at some point.
For those of you on YouTube, I am holding up the sci-fi series Dune DVD case. Highly recommend it. Watch it.
for how often my DVD player gets updated, I probably won't even be able to play the fucking thing.
I don't own a DVD player anymore.
Mine's my PlayStation.
But yeah, it said so. Like, I'll probably be keen to watch this one, and that's why I was more interested in knowing if it was a sequel to the movies, was it going to be impacted? But knowing it's a prequel that doesn't really have any impact on those two, it means I'll be able to watch
the
it.
movies, he's got the third one coming out, but that's going to be based on Children of Dune, or Dune Messiah, I think, actually.
Yeah. And I think at some point in time, like, it wouldn't surprise me if they tie this into the movies in some way, shape, or form. But who knows?
But that's what I said. Like, I feel like it's got that Star Wars sort of vibe where you've got the main storyline, and these are all sort of offshoots that can link into it if they choose to, but they can also be standalone stories.
Exactly. Clone Wars.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's quickly, right to the end, get some rumors and whatnot, jump it in. So let's just jump over here. So I quickly just want to talk about this because all it really deserves is I watched the Borderlands movie. It wasn't as bad as everyone says. I've never played the game, so therefore I don't know what the gameplay is like, but I didn't hate the movie. It wasn't a great movie, but it was all right. And that's about all you need to know.
I feel like it falls into that category of most game movies there, where if you've played the game, similar to like the Halo show, if you played the game, you didn't really like the Halo series, you didn't play the game.
Take that back. I played the games. I love the games. The Halo series was fucking phenomenal.
Going on the majority here, not the...
This episode is just out to fucking piss everybody off.
Yeah, it is.
He doesn't want to come back.
No.
But yeah, no, I said I've got Borderlands down to watch because I think it will be somewhat interesting from what I've still heard from the criticisms, and pretty open-minded going to it.
Movie,
it's fun. Like, as I said, I'm about probably a bit past halfway. They just got to up the elevator to meet Old Love.
Yep.
I think the one, probably the main criticism I have of what I've seen so far is the acting. They didn't give a fuck. They did not give a flying fuck. They were just there for a paycheck, and it really should. Like, the one person who's probably trying to put the most effort in is the girl, the young girl, and the issue that she's now fallen into is like her acting. It's probably good. It's just that everyone else around her is so poor that you're kind of focusing on them all being bad, and they just don't. There's no chemistry.
So one of the biggest critiques I've heard is the casting of Cate Blanchett and some of the other characters.
Because they're all older than they actually are.
Yeah, like the characters are like, young, early 20s sort of thing.
Doesn't affect the movie.
Yeah, if you've got nothing with the games, then it doesn't affect.
The movie at all.
Would not have even, that thought never crossed my mind, and I've got no link to the game. So.
All right, that's enough of that talk. There you go. Borderlands, watch it if you want to. Rumors. Marvel Studios reportedly planning to bring Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman back together in an MCU movie.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, highly doubt it.
Yep. James Gunn is reportedly in discussions with Pom Klementieff possibly joining the DCU. For those who don't know, Pom Klementieff plays Mantis in the MCU.
Oh, yeah, I did see that one come up, yeah.
Earmarked as Huntress.
Not sure how I feel about that, but it also depends what Huntress they're using as well.
Correct. Because I've already had Huntress through Harley Quinn and the Fantabulous, the idea.
Yeah, but only Harley Quinn's coming through, so I imagine those movies don't count.
Yeah, I know. I just kind of I've forgotten her name already. Anna. Is it Anna?
No, that's whatever her name is.
Yeah. She's
great actor. Like 11 Cloverfield Lane is a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, and she was
Pilgrim.
She was great in that as well, and it would be a shame to not bring her through.
She's also married to Ewan McGregor.
Yes, she is.
Yes. Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Creighton is reportedly confirmed to direct Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland and Zendaya reprising their roles. I don't know how Zendaya is going to do it, considering it's meant to be based in space, but...
she just fucking put some wings on.
And there's currently a jet flying.
Apparently...
I was going to say, is that thunder or what?
No, it's a jet.
Yeah, because I've seen something where apparently they're in talks with both of them already. They haven't signed up or anything, but they're already going through like script and plannings. And
Holland's contracted. He's like contracted through to 6, I think, from memory.
Is he?
Yeah, from memory.
There you go. Cool. Reminder. J.J. Abrams' Black Superman Elseworld project is still in development at DC Studios. Source, James Gunn.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm up for anything J.J. Abrams. Fringe is one of my favourite TV shows ever, so go for it. Some TV stuff as well. We might as well mix this in. Niggly is a Reacher spin-off in which we'll focus on Francis Niggly from the second season of Reacher. It's in development at Private Video with Nick Santoro and Nicholas Wooten as executive producers and co-showrunners. She was a great character in Reacher too. I'm 100% up for that. Have you watched Reacher?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, it's... Alan Richardson?
Richardson. He has a name that starts with R and ends with N.
Yeah. He's awesome. He's so good.
He's old mate that plays...
he was Hawk in Titans.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's
Aquaman in
Titans.
Smallville. Yep. He was in the most recent Fast and the Furious as well. He was also Thad in Blue Mountain State, which is one of the funniest shows no one has ever seen. Have you ever seen Blue Mountain State?
I know it. I just haven't watched
it.
It.
It's one of those stupid shows, and it's just phenomenal. Like he plays like a complete and utter jock kind of thing. And I don't know why, but it's just one of the things he says in the background as the other characters are about to talk. He's just standing in the background talking to some of the other football players. He goes, "Yeah, I didn't know you could wipe your ass more than 3 times. I always wondered why my ass was itchy." Just stuff like that just rarely comes out of his mouth. And like the first episode, they have to carry Oreos in between their butt cheeks naked, and they have to run. And they're like, everyone else drops their Oreo stuff, and like as everyone leaves, he's like looking over his shoulder and he like sees them all. And he goes, pulls it out his ass and like sniffs it and then eats it.
He's also in is it The Wedding Ringer? One of those Kevin Hart Netflix movies where like
The Wedding Ringer. He's the one who swears. Is it?
Yeah, he's got Tourette's. Yeah.
Oh, it's raining. It must have been thunder. It wasn't a plane. There you go. You got anything else?
We've already spoken about the Goonies, haven't we?
Yes, we said that a couple of episodes ago. Brendan Gleeson is cast as the rumoured villain in the Spider-Man Noir series. Brendan Gleeson is a fantastic Irish actor. He's in Bruges and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Sam Raimi is in talks with directing Doctor Strange 3 and the Midnight Suns movie.
Just don't do 3 and just go straight to Midnight Suns. Well, they kind of got it through 3 because they set it up with Charlize Theron.
Yep.
But I want a Midnight Suns one. But you mean that's not going to come out for ages because they still got to introduce Ghost Rider. You got to get Blade back into the game.
Yeah. Oh, it's ages away.
Yeah, but it'd be good to see the Moon Knight again.
Yes,
because that series was okay, but he much better.
I enjoyed it.
A lot more.
I enjoyed it
than he should get.
Shogun breaks Emmy record with 14 awards for a single season.
I did see that.
Did Old Mate win?
I don't know. I just know they did.
I just saw the thing that they won 14.
That's awesome. Good on it. It's a great show.
I've got a little bit of a 2-part breaking news. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse has been indefinitely delayed. Most of the film has been scrapped by Sony, and it will be lucky if it comes out before 2027.
Fuck. That's hardcore because that was meant to come out in like a few
That
months.
was meant
wasn't
to
it?
come out March this year.
Fuck.
And it got delays because of various different things. Now, the part 2 to this, I have somewhere here. Christopher Miller, writer for the franchise, has addressed reports that Beyond the Spider-Verse has been had further delayed to 2027 at the earliest after drastic creative overhaul. Nothing has been scrapped. The reels are coming along nicely. So something's picked up in way of a rumor. It has gotten a whole lot of steam really quickly. This guy's come out and said, don't know what you're talking about. So based on things that come out like this and then quickly get addressed, sometimes there's a little bit of truth to them. So we'll see where it lands.
We'll see
but
where
I
it
mean,
goes.
yeah, it was meant to come out earlier this year. It was one of my anticipated ones for this year. It definitely has had delays for various reasons. It doesn't currently have a release date. See where it lands.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that is the show for today. But before we leave, we do have a little announcement that we have another show coming out soon. The show is called Sequelize It. Essentially, what the show is, we will be taking movies that either do not deserve or never got a sequel, and then we are going to come up with ideas for sequels for them. So essentially, what's going to happen is each person is going to come up with their own idea. We're not going to tell each other what they are before the show. Each going to come up with their own idea for a sequel. We're going to tell it to each other. Laugh, chat about it, and then at the end of the episode, we'll kind of have a bit of a chat, combine them, mash them together, and make the perfect sequel.
Yeah, the movie will be released anywhere from 600 to 600 years after we come up with it.
And so that's the idea for the show. It will be coming out soon, hopefully. We'll keep you up to date on the Facebook about that one.
Yep.
That's really about it.
I say, really, it's just an excuse to hit the last few demographics we haven't upset with bagging those golden old movies.
Yeah,
it's going to be
100%.
great. Look forward to the shit talking.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great.
the idea actually came from an episode where we were talking about movies, something new, like Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it was shit movies and how would you make them better?
That was it, yeah. And we were talking about Batman and Robin. We started riffing on about what the sequel could have been and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of where the idea was birthed.
Yep.
But yeah, so it is now pissing down rain. So we are going to end the episode here because you can hear it in the background.
Won't be able to hear it soon.
But yeah, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Stay frantic.
Thank you.
Franticlers.
You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever all good podcasts are listened to. On YouTube, you can check out the latest episodes just after the podcast is uploaded.
Follow along the journey on our Facebook and Instagram. You follow me, Frantic Brock, on Instagram, and you can follow AJ, Weird Art by AJ.
See ya.